welcome everyone. John Henry Soto here. Welcome to the JHS show tonight. Asadah Kirkland is back, and we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency. I'm so excited. I got a million questions to ask her, so let's just get started. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the JHS show, Asadah Kirkland. How are you?
It's an exhilarating experience.
Yes. How are you? Thank you so much for being here.
Man, I'm loving life. Thank you for having me. This is like the highlight of my day. And
Oh, thank you.
I
Appreciate
just
it.
love what we do. I put somewhere on social media that we laugh, we chat, we giggle, and we get up to the nitty gritty. That's what we do.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Last time you were here, it was great. I mean, I had a lot of people really ask questions and be very, really interested in what it's all about. I think a lot of people have heard of it.
Sure.
I've heard of Bitcoin, they've heard of cryptocurrency, but it's this thing where it's almost like for you to actually be educated in this, you have to make the decision to go out and get educated in it. It's not like school, right? You're not going to go to school and learn about this. You're not going to go to a college or anything. It's something that you have to do. It's a real personal thing for you to go out and actually get this knowledge. When you're actually doing your trainings and stuff, what's the most important thing that you feel that they should have? What's the biggest thing that they should know?
Oh man, it's so interesting because I don't claim to be sort of a crypto aficionado. Oh, I know I'm, like we were talking about earlier, I watch the trends and I don't do that. You don't necessarily have to do that. And for me, what's most important is making sure people just understand the words. What are the words in this space? Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency, like really clearing up those words. And I'll give some definitions on that in a minute since people are watching and may not know. So the best thing for me, the most important thing is to make sure those words are clear so that people can watch the rest of the presentation or listen to the training and know what I'm talking about. If I keep saying Bitcoin, 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 and don't explain that, Bitcoin is not a physical thing. It's something digital. It's like, you think of different types of money like peso and yen and other countries that have their own monies. Well, Bitcoin is for the whole globe. You know what I'm saying? You could use it anywhere and it's actually digital. And people go, it's digital. Like, yes, just like your card. And you always do things digitally, financially. Think about it. Even food stamps is digital.
Right. Well, that seems to be the most confusing thing, the digital part of it, right? Because, and even though we've been digital for 20, 30 years, maybe more than that, you know what I mean?
Right.
With the credit card, you have your card. People get paid electronically now. Nobody even sees the money. It just shows up in your bank account. So this is already in place. The only difference from this is that middleman, right, that bank is taken out, right?
Sure.
So that's now one of the concerns, is the fraud, right? Because that's a concern for every industry, right? As a matter of fact, in 2019, there were 1 billion, that's with the B, folks, billion breaches on the internet, right? And these had to do with companies, not one with cryptocurrency. It had to do with companies. It had to do with people, right? People doing things. And that seems to be the next phase of the internet, where security is a huge giant problem on the internet, but for companies like Facebook and Google and Amazon, these big giant huge companies, as a matter of fact, I just read a book where these companies have so much security issues that they've built these huge giant buildings where all they do is they're just networks of computers to protect them from fraud and stuff. They run so hot they have to build them in Antarctica.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's just not sustainable.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
When you talk about the issue of security and money, first of all, crypto encryption.
Right.
Like they like this the you want to look at the etymology of the word, like where they come
Yeah.
from. That's the whole point about cryptocurrency. You every time a transaction in cryptocurrency cannot be made without it being recorded on the blockchain. You understand? If I
Right.
give you $10,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, that transaction we will be able to trace on the blockchain. If I give you $10,000 in cash, shh,
Right.
very quiet. No one knows. You know what I'm saying? You're talking
Right.
about fraud exponentially when you're talking about regular fiat money. Fiat
Right.
meaning government money, money that we're used to, right? But when it comes to cryptocurrency and security, it's not. People say, "Well, this has been hacked before." No, I think the companies that were trying to use cryptocurrency may be able to be hacked. I don't know what their database is like and their security, but when you're talking about Bitcoin itself, in my presentation that I do every week, there's a part of a video that I show where the gentleman talks about there is no server for Bitcoin. There's no company that owns Bitcoin. Like you can't hack Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? But maybe companies that use it. So, and then in terms of your security of your Bitcoin, that's why you have it on a device. If you don't want to have it on like your phone or your on the internet because you feel like it's going to get hacked, just get this. Get one of these. This is my friend. Hey, baby, how y'all doing? My name is Trezor. So this is a bank. This is where you can hold your Bitcoin without it being on the internet. This is we're taught to in the club I'm in that we're in. We're taught to put our wealth on these devices because they can hold millions of dollars. And yeah, you put it in your safe and it's offline. You understand? So you can put the majority of your money on here, and then maybe keep the device with maybe $2,000 or $3,000, and the other one you put all the rest of the thousands on that device
Right.
that I showed you. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. So when the fear of the like the blockchain, for instance,
Sure.
I had one person I was talking to was concerned with the blockchain. Again, they're thinking in terms of hacking Walmart, right? Like
Mhm.
you go in and you just bought all their socks or something, or you whatever somebody hacked or whatever they did.
Mhm.
That's a little bit different. That's what their minds are thinking. But the blockchain cannot be somebody can't break into a blockchain and change the numbers in there, right? Because it's
No.
what makes it so secure.
So I just want to define blockchain first. So
Yeah,
you guys, because I
yeah,
had this one lady, she was saying to a member of our club, she's like, girl, that Bitcoin, that's in the past. But today you really should be about blockchain. And I was like, that's a problem
yeah.
because they're not the
Very
same thing. You know,
different.
Bitcoin needs blockchain. Like she totally didn't understand the meaning of blockchain. So blockchain, you guys, is like a ledger, okay? So
Mhm.
that it tracks transactions in what's called blocks. It's like let's look think of a ledger and think
Yeah,
of the transactions and how they're listed. Now, blockchain, that's one function, right? That it's a ledger that records these different transactions, but it also it enables us to transact money person to person or peer to peer, we say, right? That means that you don't need a bank, you don't need PayPal, you don't need Cash App, you don't need a middleman to send money to each other. So the blockchain enables that. You should really do more research on the blockchain because it's used for more than just cryptocurrency, right?
right,
So the safety of, and this is the research part because I'm not going to feign like I can break down the blockchain all the way and
right,
what
right,
makes it safe is these two algorithms that go like
right,
this.
right, right,
No, the blockchain is made up of mathematical algorithms that make it work, but it's not. But the key to know is that there's no server
right,
behind it. There's no people working a server behind it where they can hack into that and change it. And it's operated globally. When these transactions take place, there might be a guy in Kenya, a guy in New York, a guy like there's a girl in a different place. They have to verify that transaction. So it goes through like five people's computers to verify and make sure it's legit. And then it goes to you.
there you
So,
go, right.
yeah.
And I've done it because I've been I've been in for at least 4 months now, I guess.
Hmm.
And I've been doing great. I'm learning a lot. I'm making money. It's been like really an exciting thing to see it happening and to see the actual you know, and when you're really paying attention to it, and you start really reading more about it and
Sure.
you just start getting that education. That really is what makes it even more exciting, because then you see the potential. You can't see the
Sure.
potential if you're not educated in it, right?
And if you're not just gonna do it, like you guys, let me tell you something. Even Pizza Hut is talking about they don't accept cash anymore. Are you serious? Like what? Like this, the time is changing, and so instead of vacillating and thinking back and forth, should I do it? Should I get some Bitcoin? Should I? No, just do it. You must. Like we were talking
Pizza,
earlier.
we should get pizza too. But
Eh,
anyway,
right,
let's,
right.
let's
Get you a wallet,
you
please.
said
Right.
Pizza Hut, and I was just like, oh man, pizza.
Right. Get a wallet so that you can get yourself some Bitcoin. And then you make a decision about what you want to do, because there's getting a little bit, saying, I'm going to just get $200 worth of Bitcoin. And you're going to let it sit there and kind of go up and down as Bitcoin's value goes up and down. Or like we did, we are part of a club that, man, we make that Bitcoin grow. You know, there's a willingness
Right,
that we have, and there's a drive that we have. And we just make Bitcoin grow exponentially. So that's the
right,
difference in between the two. Once you get your Bitcoin, make a decision about what you want to do with it. You want to trade with it. Like, it gives you an opportunity to own money. Now,
right,
that is a concept that's new, because the money we're used to, you don't own that. It got serial numbers, somebody else's face on it and stuff, little secret images on the back and stuff. Don't
right.
turn it over. But with Bitcoin, you're talking about you
Fold it like
own
this and fold it like this, and
it.
you're
You
gonna
folded it a twin
see,
tower
look,
blown up.
Elmer Fudd.
Right.
Yeah,
So, with Bitcoin, once you have some, you own it.
right.
It's yours. And so I love on some of the webinars we say, you can't pass down a job.
Yeah,
Okay. But you can pass down Bitcoin. And I was looking at my daughter's wallet today and I was like, Dad, you got more than me in your wallet. I have more than one, but still it was like, oh, I
yeah,
didn't know we had that much.
yeah.
But she's 17 and has her own Bitcoin. So just her being in place, her having her own money in Bitcoin, it just makes a world of a difference.
Yeah, and I think also, and I have there's a question here from Dia that I'm gonna get to in a second.
Sure.
But one of the things also, we're so not used to really owning, like when you said owning your own money. Like, why should I give you something that someone else has to take some from it? Or even know, you know what I mean? Like, so it's really a weird thing to, like, in the old days, I had two chickens. You had
Yeah.
you had three chickens.
Mm-hmm.
You had eggs. I have, we trade eggs. Here's a
Barter.
chicken, yeah, and you barter. That's the way it was, and it was a physical thing that you actually had. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when that went away, the cash system came into place, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that for us to kind of get back to the idea that you actually own what you actually made,
Sure.
that is a huge difference. And I think that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin is such a maybe a danger to a lot of people, because it really empowers so many people. It's going to empower us the same way that's going to empower guys that are living in poverty in third world countries.
Sure. Yes, because there's no boundary,
Right,
and there's no control. What we're used to is being controlled as it relates to money. This is never even entered our mind that we could control the currency. And
right,
so now you have something at the table that, whoa, it gives the power to the people who have it, and then there's no one there's no jurisdiction over it by anyone.
right.
That's amazing. Like, I love to tell a story when I went to Aruba last year, and I was on the beach getting something to drink from the stand, and on the cash register it said, "We accept Bitcoin," and I was like, "Little old Aruba, I love that." I love it. So yeah, it's very powerful, and you can. I buy my groceries with Bitcoin. I pay my bills with Bitcoin, and
Yeah.
just let it roll. So yeah, it's freedom. You guys, we ask for freedom a lot, but when it's here, we're not ready to get it. It's like, I don't,
Like,
I
I'm
don't know
scared of
about
that
that.
freedom because I'm afraid of the blockchain. Let me actually.
I'm afraid of this
Yeah,
blockchain.
I'm little black sheep. I'm gonna no,
It's
but I mean, I
awesome.
think it is education, and I think not to mock anyone that's actually confused by it. It's just getting educated. It's the same thing. I mean, listen, I've all the stuff that I do. I didn't go to school to do this. What I'm
I
doing here.
understand.
I
Yes.
went and I went on YouTube. I learned how to do video. I learned how to edit. I learned how to play music from a
Nice.
book when I was a
Yeah.
kid. You know what I mean? So it's stuff that you really have to go out and put that time in to really educate yourself on what it really is.
Yeah. And I want people to know, just be okay with that,
Yeah,
because it's not like we can look back in history and say, how did they do Bitcoin in the civil rights movement?
right,
It didn't exist. Like, it never existed before. So it's okay not to know about it. It's okay to have to learn more, but don't waste your time trying to talk about, I got to research it first. And you're not a researcher. Stop it.
right,
Because Bitcoin's value does go up, and it is predicted to go up very soon. So it might be $10,000 per coin now. It used to be less than a penny per coin, but they're talking about it going up to like 35 and $50,000 per coin. And when that happens, it won't be as inexpensive as it is now. We show folks how to take less than $200 or less than $300 and get in this Bitcoin this game and grow it.
right.
So, this is time, though, is not going to exist forever.
It's
So
not yet. Uh,
don't be researching all night.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. 2011, Bitcoin was 30 cents.
Ooh,
So if you would have bought $30 worth of Bitcoin today, you'd have $6 million. What? I read that somewhere. I was like so pissed. I didn't,
oh,
I didn't
God.
2011. I didn't know I didn't even know what Bitcoin was, but still.
Yeah.
So let me
Mhm.
get to this question here from Dia real quick.
Sure.
How does a Bitcoin credit card work compared to a uh,
Trezor.
Razor?
So cool. This is a
Razor.
Trezor,
Tell me
guys.
more.
See this? This is a Trezor. This is the device that holds your Bitcoin offline. And that is in and of itself. Now, when you get we have you download what's called a BitPay wallet. It's called a warm wallet. It's on your device, like your iPad or your phone. And when you get that BitPay in particular, they have a MasterCard created that you can order, right? It's like $10. And then you can switch Bitcoin over to that card and go ahead and buy groceries or do what you have to do. Now, that exists. And once you turn that money, that Bitcoin, back over to fiat money, is gone now. It's gone. We try to tell people, don't do that too much, because let's say you have $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and you spent 4,000, but tomorrow Bitcoin's value goes up.
Oh
So
man.
now you only got 1,000 going up instead of the amount that you had. So try to use it sparingly. But yeah, the Trezor is just storage. Okay, this is just where you're going to store your Bitcoin. You can take money out of it as well, but this is really about storage. The card is about being able to shop in a place where they don't accept Bitcoin yet, but you want to use your Bitcoin for that purpose and change it to fiat to do that. So that's the difference between the
Right.
two.
Now, didn't Trezor fight Iron Man in the last Marvel movie?
Probably they need to
Mm.
make a Bitcoin, Mr. Bitcoin Man. Shoot.
So,
Yes.
so
Mhm.
this Trezor, when you connect this, you went. Somebody says we went offline. You went offline. Um,
I don't know about that. It say live to me.
says live here too. Well, maybe it could be on where you're watching it too. I don't know where you're watching it, Dia. If you're watching it on
It'll be recorded, so
it'll be
there's
recorded.
that.
So hope, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so what that trays are the credit card. So you said it when you use it, you're not using. Can you use Bitcoin when you're using it, or is it just always cash?
Hold
You
up,
don't
hold
take
up,
cash.
hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I want to get it for you.
All right, hold on, hold on, hold on.
We impromptu. We impromptu. No, for real.
Yeah, let's
So,
do it.
what's your question? You said what now?
So if I'm using the card, I'm thinking about a few things, right? You use the card and you use your Bitcoin, or it automatically transfers uh
So, your
makes
transfers of
it
Bitcoin. So, here's
yeah.
the card, guys. Look. I hit my number. But anyway, here's the card, right? So what happens is that on your device,
Okay, so hold
right?
on. Dia didn't hear the answer, so you're gonna go into another explanation now.
Of
So we can more.
the card of
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
explanation of the card and the Trezor. That's what you want me to explain?
Yeah, because I think she went offline. So just a
Okay,
real
no
quick.
problem. Just really quick. The card is connected to the Warm Wallet BitPay here in the States. I know abroad they have a app called WireX, and they also have a card, like a credit card. But you basically can transfer your Bitcoin onto the card through the device. It'll say you want to add funds. You click on the card, you want to add funds, then you just switch your Bitcoin over to it. But now when you're talking about your Trezor, this little booby boo, this is just a storage place for me. I'm not really taking money off here. I just put money, I put Bitcoin on it and let it just sit there. I don't want, when my device starts to get too much money, then I just take some off and put it on a Trezor because I
Okay.
don't want all that money on the device.
So when it's on that device, though, is it still part of the current? I mean, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, no, it would be right. So if the currency goes up, whatever's
Yeah,
in
it's
there
still going to go up.
is
Yes,
still gonna go up.
it
Yeah,
moves right with it
it
because
doesn't freeze.
right, because what happens is when you are transacting, whether you're adding money or not to this device, see this?
Hmm.
This is the cord that you hook to the computer,
Right,
and then once you hook it up to the computer, they have all these codes and stuff. How you got to get in it, and then it syncs up, and then so it's pulling it. It's
right.
moving right with the regular
Okay.
Bitcoin, so it
So
moves with Bitcoin. Yeah.
so it does become like for Dia, it does become fiat cash once it gets onto that credit card.
Yes. Once you change it to the card, boys and girls, men and women, it's gone. It is regular fiat money. It's
Ah,
if you're going to take $100 worth of Bitcoin and put it on that card, it's
it's
on the
just
card. And you know how regular fiat money is. You spend it, it's gone.
it's gone. Right.
Yeah, but so if you see Bitcoin's price going up, you just spent the money. You just spent the big. You just spent it. You took it
Yeah.
to fiat.
So
So
Doc,
yeah. So yeah,
why
I
you
wouldn't do that.
doing? Why you doing that
Why
for?
you do that?
Why
Right.
you
So I
do that?
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Only if you have to. I
Right.
only switch money over to that card if I have to. Some people feel
Right.
like, oh, I made all this money in Bitcoin. Now I could change it back. What?
No, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
But
that's not. Yeah.
for instance, like but if you are actually having to make a purchase that doesn't accept Bitcoin, then you have no choice and you have
Sure.
to transfer whatever you have to transfer. And I would assume that in the next, I don't know, whatever years, 20 years probably or more, that there's going to be a little bit of that because not everyone is going to transfer over, or who knows what's going to happen. I mean, it might be a huge giant change in the financial, institutions,
Sure.
maybe a drastic one, and then that be all we have. We don't really know, right? I mean,
Well, look at now. Come on with the pandemic. I mean, so many people lost their jobs. So many people got laid off. I am an entrepreneur, have always pretty much been an entrepreneur. You're talking about my income came from speaking in schools, doing a big book fair, both of which ain't happening during the pandemic. This is not happening.
right.
So income sources got snatched from my universe. And if it wasn't for Bitcoin, I don't know what I don't really know what would have happened. I don't
Mm,
it this having Bitcoin was such a blessing during this time because I was able to go right to it. I had it. I've been doing Bitcoin for 3 years. And actually during lockdown, I've made more money than some people make in a year.
yeah.
I made in a weekend. I've made a lot just being in a Bitcoin club during this time. So we we control whether it becomes the norm or not.
Right.
We don't have to wait for anybody to make it the norm. We can right now. Everybody get your wallet. Everybody get some Bitcoin. Everybody start transacting. If you are a business watching this, you can actually accept Bitcoin for your business right now.
Yeah.
And when you do, you could charge less because you know it's going to go up. 50 Cent, the rapper, he sold an album in Bitcoin, but he didn't know it was going to go up to $20,000 a coin. So his album that sold in the past made him an extra 7 million
Right.
because that's how Bitcoin rolls. So
Right.
yeah, it's just beautiful. But you want to get all of this. It's very sophisticated to have a Trezor and to
Yeah.
have a BitPay card, and this is the wave. It looks like the future, you guys, but it's the now for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those Trezor.
Yeah,
Um,
it's only like $40 on
yeah,
Amazon. Got to make
yeah.
sure it says new though. Don't get a used Trezor. That's going to be a problem for you.
Oh my God, they're selling used Trezor. I don't even know what that means.
Somebody else's number be in that bad boy. They
Yeah,
might send
yeah.
you some money and
Wow.
go somewhere else.
Make sure it's new.
Don't you?
Um, I mean, one of the things that I'll say is um the whole internet situation. People will say, well, the internet can be turned off or something. And I look at that as like kind of almost insane when you think about companies like Amazon and you think about these huge, huge companies that are like not billions of dollars, trillions of dollars are made on these companies. The internet is like such a huge thing that no one's going to allow this to be knocked out because it makes so much money. I mean, Jeff Bezos alone will come out and he'd be like, "Don't be touching that internet, man."
Right.
He ain't gonna
Look,
mess with that. I
that,
mean, it's
exactly. Like
so
we're using it now. You can't not use the internet right now. It's just like when televisions came out,
right.
where we like, televisions are not going to work. Networks ain't coming back on.
That
Like,
did happen, by the way.
yeah, and I'm sure, but it ain't last
Yeah,
long. I'm gonna tell you
yeah,
that.
it did.
You know.
When the television came out, people were saying it's just a fad. People aren't gonna spend time watching a screen,
Mhm.
and look what happened there. That
Look
was
what happened there. So the internet is like that times 10
right.
because it actually does some very life enhancing things. Like there's a part of technology I think is whack because of its control, and there's a part of technology that is a must.
Right.
It's how I mean, I literally have conversations with people in Zambia and the UK almost every day
Mm,
because of the internet, and we're talking about Bitcoin, and
right.
I'm helping them to change their economy in these countries. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not going anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
to go into a little bit of the technology, I've recently just started on an app that goes worldwide, and I had to audition and all this stuff, and I actually been working on this app literally as a personality, playing music and talking and advising and stuff, and getting paid every month just to be on
wow,
this app. You know what I
wow.
mean? And so when you look at technology like that, like I don't use my phone to take pictures of my latte and although I probably
I
have done
do that sometimes.
yeah,
The
I
first,
probably have done that, but that's not my purpose on the
yeah,
I use all the technology to better myself and to better my brand and to get more
sure,
positive message out. So technology is not going to go in. It's only going to get better and it's going to get stronger. And the
sure,
internet's going to get better and it's going to get stronger. And it's not something that I feel that I'm not afraid of it. You know what I mean? I'm really not afraid that the internet is going to go away. That's almost ridiculous when you really think about it of how massive it is and how it's really not even really at this point controlled by one person. You know what I mean? It's just there now.
sure, sure, sure. Well, by the time you spend being fearful of what it might not do, you
Yeah.
could have made
The
so
man.
much go on. You could have made a lot of money there, and that happened with Bitcoin. Like
Yeah.
people, when Bitcoin was like $1,000, we're not talking about a long time ago. Now we're talking about like
Right.
2016. So when it was like $1,000, people was like, "Oh, it's gonna buzz, it's gonna be a bubble," and then it went up to 3,000, and then it was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
bubble."
it's still gonna it's still watch, watch, right? It's like it's like every month. Watch. This is the month. This is the month. You watch.
And all it did was go up. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
This
they
is
could have been so wealthy, but they were so busy being afraid.
right.
Fear. Somebody said in our group, she said, "Scared money don't make money.
Mm,
Stop being scared. Like, how much money you got? You scared? You know what I mean?
right.
Like, you should be scared if you're a multimillionaire and you're going to lose millions. But when you're
Right.
not, what are
Right.
you scared of?
Yeah.
Being poorer?
Right.
What happened? Like,
I'm
what?
scared of being. I don't know what the hell.
So
Watch.
whatever, but
But
yeah, you do better coming into space, growing in the space, playing in the space,
right.
and you will have wealth. That's
Right.
my experience. Big
And
time.
also, you also can go into it on what you feel comfortable too. You know what I mean? Like George Gilder, who's written like 19 books, and he wrote the book Life After Television, where he
Mhm.
predicted a lot of TV shows were going to go streaming on this thing called the internet, right? And
Mhm.
of course, it happened. He predicted the cell phone. He predicted all these things. So he wrote a book now, just came out last year, called Life After Google. And
Mm.
the reason he's writing that is because of the security issues that a lot of these huge companies have, where they really put onto the consumer, right? Like it's all about us. What's my password for this? I don't know. I forgot my password. Right? They don't care, right? Facebook
Right.
don't care if you forgot your password. They'll just be like, yeah, just we'll send it to your email. Good luck.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
but if it's a breach or something, they're not really that liable. So what he's basically saying is that if you're investing in something on the internet, invest as much as you feel comfortable losing. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
so then, and that's kind of like how I started, only because, I have two kids and, I was like, just, I guess, still in that cautious, even though I felt comfortable with it. But I
Mhm.
was like, I'm going to put this down, and I put some money down, and then I just kept putting money every time. I just kept putting, that's kind of like how I've been doing it, because I feel comfortable with that.
Sure.
I feel comfortable with that. So I think that if people were to just look at their situation and say, you know what, I feel comfortable if I right now lost $200.
Mhm.
Now you
Mhm.
don't want to go into the mindset of you're going to lose $200, because chances are you're not going to lose $200. But
Mm.
if you feel put $200, get a wallet, have it there, let it sit there. When it goes up to, you make a couple $1,000. You could have made more if you put 1,000 in, but
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. You made something, So that's kind of like the advice I've been telling people, because it really it's kind of like silly not to, in my opinion, to just put something into it, because it's such a powerful thing.
I mean, guys, for real, stop playing. What are you doing with your money? Like, uh, what are you doing? Besides what?
I bought
Waiting for
some
a
socks.
stimulus check or what'd you say?
I bought some socks.
Like, what are you
I bought
doing?
coffee. I buy a lot.
Exactly. So you're spending it or doing whatever. See, what cryptocurrency has done for me, because I'm not one to want to look at the stocks and watch trends, and equally busy, right? Those of us that are busy building book fairs and writing books and doing all of that. I wanted to be in a space where I didn't have to really study trends, study the market. What are dividends? What is, like, I can learn that, but with Bitcoin,
Right,
I didn't have to.
right,
And so it's just a very simple, you got cash, paper that you don't own, phasing out. The new money is going to be digital. It may not even be just Bitcoin, but the point is, the difference is you own it
right,
as opposed to not owning it. So right now, people can ration out money to you in those bills. But with Bitcoin, no, you get it. It's yours. So if you made 1 million, you have 1 million. And then it can grow. And so why wouldn't you have it? It
right.
doesn't make sense not to have it.
Yeah,
And then once you have it, how do you grow it? What do you do with it? So it's more, for me, it was a mindset change, because we're raised in lack a lot of times. Money don't grow on trees, or whatever the little things are our
yeah.
parents and grandparents
Saving
taught
money
us.
for a rainy day and
Eh, all of these,
all
yeah,
those
these
things that they
all of
say.
these lack things, these ideas of lack. And so we make decisions based on, like, I don't want to spend the money because I might not get it. But you can tell when a person is not wealthy, because that's how they think. But when people are wealthy and they have money, it's kind of like you just throw it to another opportunity to do something and watch it
Yeah,
grow and multiply.
invest.
So
Yeah,
that's the space we're in right now with Bitcoin. We play a different game. It doesn't involve lack. And I know for me, my daughter must be an heiress. Like, that's just my goal.
yeah,
I want her to be an heiress and meet with other heiresses and heirs and make decisions about what they want to do. And so we're not going to do that with fiat money, because
right,
that's somebody else's money and they play games with it. They print it out and do all kinds of stuff. But with crypto, we can really do that. We can really start to build it and make sure our children have it, and go forward. This is going to be their money, for real. It's ours, kind of, but it's going to be theirs for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And you mentioned the currency being taken out of, or the fiat money being slowly removed. I heard that there's some places that they can't get change. Did you hear about this?
Yes, I
I
did.
think it was in LA. Like, they can't find change. Like, they're telling people, can you please bring the change in? We got no change. I'm like, where's the change? I don't
That's
understand
why
that.
they're going cashless. Y'all think they're You think we
No,
playing it in
they're
here?
not playing. They're doing it. They're
Ooh,
doing
it's
it.
being done. So, you know, you just want to be ready. You want to have more than just your credit card. You need to have the currency that's getting ready to run the world.
Yeah.
And that's going to help solve a lot of problems before they become problems. Don't let them become problems and you're trying to scrounge. You better get with John and find out how to get this Bitcoin in your
Yeah.
life. But yeah, it's very important, very important.
Yeah. And do you think that in the next is it soon? Like, do you feel, because I follow the market, I follow Bitcoin, I see it. And it's always been strong, it's always been strong at, like, right now I think it's almost at 11, right? I think it was a
Yeah, it's
little.
like 10,700 when I
Yeah.
last looked.
So, and it's never gone that far down. Do you what are your thoughts on the next 5 years on Bitcoin? Like, do you have enough insight on that, or is it something that you're really not even
I'm
that
gonna
interested in?
Yeah, I'm going to speak from a point of a person, not as a trend. This is what I predict the market will do. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm
Ah,
not.
got
That's
you.
not me. I
Right,
mean, that's
right.
not who I am, and I have to learn. I have to learn some other things to
And a
make.
lot of those guys are wrong when you when you watch
You
stock market
know,
stuff. I mean, you have to find really, like I follow George Gilder, right? He's just been right way too many times for,
okay,
you know what I mean? That you have to
right,
listen to when he says something, and he writes a book based on what he's saying.
sure,
It's all happens, right?
sure.
So guys like that are different for me. But the when
But
you see guys
as a
on, like,
person, though, I can give it as a person, though.
right,
Like as
right,
a person, what's going to happen in the next 5 years? Let me tell you something to you. Anytime I can watch my 17-year-old make 18,000 in 2 days from Bitcoin. Yeah, let's just do some math on that. Like, we have the power to create that type of money, and if she made that, I made three,
yeah,
4 times that.
yeah,
So we're in a space where 5 years for us. Oh, I'll be able to do some of the things I wanted to do. Like I have 2 Airbnbs that I want to open up. I have a strip that's like 2 blocks from me, and I plan on making that Bitcoin Boulevard. And the businesses on that strip will all accept Bitcoin. Like, so I have plans in that,
yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
to change the landscape of where I live,
Mm,
and this is the only place that has the where I can generate that type of money, that quantity of money to do those things. And so 5 years from now, I mean,
it's it seems
it's,
like
it's endless.
a
Yeah, I'll have
long
a lot
time.
more power than I have now for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so someone is interested in getting more information. This is like the thing. Um, I don't think a lot. When
I
I
gotta do-
when I find something that I really want to do, or like I kind of like dive in. I've always been that way. I don't know, I think it's actually a good thing.
Yeah,
Some
that's why
people
you
may
succeed.
call it, yeah, some people may call it reckless. I'll be like, I only got $5, but there's a thing over there I want to go to, and
Spirit of
I'm not
play.
gonna get paid for, like, but it's always worked out where if I do it, I somehow end up generating more income through other things, and
Yes.
it just always works out
Hmm.
somehow, and that's just the way I operate. But there are people out there who want to really analyze, and they want to, like, make sure they're making the right decision, and they want to, you know, should they just jump on a webinar and just get the data, get the
Yes.
information that way?
Yeah, part of the reason why most people don't have what they want is because they don't know how to get it. They don't have the know-how. So they kind of sit there and think about it and talk about how much they want to research it, but they just don't know the how. So my thing is find out how to do it. I know I do a webinar every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern and Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and explain it all, like the
Right.
words. What is blockchain? Oh, it's like a ledger for Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency. It's the largest one. It has the most value. So I explain those things. You kind of learn about the global scope of it, and then you can make an educated decision about what you want to do. I talk about how you can do it by yourself or how you could do it in like a club with us. So people just need to learn how,
Yeah.
and then you can make an educated decision about what you want to do. But waiting so that you could suffer more, I don't advise that, because if you don't get Bitcoin now, you are going to suffer later.
Yeah.
That is a fact. because that's where it's going. So you want it, even if you don't fully understand it. When you get a car, right? Everybody don't understand the whole thing, how the car works. They just know how to push the gas, put it in park, put it in drive, do the steering wheel. But same thing with Bitcoin. You don't got to know all the ins and outs yet. Get some,
Right.
and
Right.
then learn while you earn. You
Right.
know what I mean? And do it like that. So
Yeah.
that's what I recommend.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gary Vee says, people tell him, he goes, I didn't grow up with all this stuff, and he was like, you didn't grow up driving either, but you learned how to do that, right? So it's like,
Everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
so that's what
definitely.
you. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the actual the group, the club,
Hmm.
because for me it was like I trust you. I've known
Hmm.
you for a long time. We're friends,
Hmm.
and so when you brought it to my attention, you already had my ears. You already had me listening and stuff. So,
Yay.
um, yay! And so when I heard about the group and you told me about it, I was like, oh hell yeah! I mean, because I love the group dynamic. I love
Mhm.
working with people and stuff. So tell me a little bit about that group. And I know it's kind of a they can probably just go to the webinar and get real detail on the group at some point. But tell me a little bit about that group and why is it good for somebody to join it?
I think, now we live in a society where, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's really about, do it by yourself. But personally, I don't come from that type of culture. And it's a whole lot of cultures that aren't like that. Like I wrote in my book, Bitcoin for Black People, I talk about cultural money systems. And so in the Caribbean and West Africa, you had susus, and in South America, they had something called the Tanda, and in China, it's called the Hui. I don't know if I'm saying it right, Hui. But the point is, there are these cultural money systems that involve groups, okay?
Mm,
Because groups working together help to multiply the money as opposed to one person working hard. Everybody works to make the money grow. And so that's how I see the club that we're in, because we're all it's amazing to me, but it's like recycling dollars. There's a big thing in the Black community about, we used to put our money back in our own community, and now we don't recycle our money and it goes out of our community. But I love the club because I love being able to give money to somebody I know. Sometimes people call me and say, hey, I need to send you money, and I'll go, oh, okay. So the beauty of the club is that you're cycling money that is Bitcoin, and we are supporting each other, as we go, go up in this club. And then you have a choice. If you say, I only got $25, good. You can do something in the club. If you say, I got $1,000 I want to do something with, cool. There's always something in the club that you can, like, it meets you where you are, as
right.
opposed to, I can't join that club yet, I can't afford it. No, everybody, like I said, these families in Zambia, and I just signed up a brother from Senegal. Look, he sent me pictures of him and his students in the classroom with the brick walls and the look. It's for real. And like, so for me to be able to help him generate money through the club,
Mm,
that it's just Bitcoin going to Senegal, and now they'll be able to change the financial landscape of the country where they live. That's invaluable to me. And so the club affords you the reality to work with others. And then some people, you just become a leader. People come, and like John said, hey, yeah, I'm down, let me see what's up. So you automatically become this sort of, you sort of morph into a leader of sorts, and now you're working with people. So I just find it just improve social skills, and definitely financial skills, because I get up in the morning and go to the Bitcoin calculator to see what the price is of Bitcoin for the morning. And then people call me and go, how much is Bitcoin? How much is it to join the club today? I say, hold on. I go to the Bitcoin calculator, look it up. So that's like a whole new skill set that I've developed. And
mm,
even my daughter today, I told her, oh, rotating hands. That's part of our club, something you can do to diversify what you do with your Bitcoin. I said, oh, send $150 worth of Bitcoin to this wallet address. And I didn't have to watch her. She actually just did it.
she
You
knows
know
how
what I
to.
mean? Like, she
Yeah,
knows how to do it as a teenager.
right.
And this week she had other teenagers call my mom. She'll help you. They got $25. to
Yeah.
start. So anyway, the club allows for us to take a situation where we may have been really destitute during this period of time during the
Mhm.
pandemic, but now we have a vehicle to do not only make cash flow, but we even learn about that's the thing about it. You learn about solo 401ks. Those are 401ks that you own, right? We learn about home equity loans and how to get those on your house so you're not paying a mortgage. We learn about extreme credit and getting our credit up to higher level. Like the club is beautiful because it makes it so that you really learn finance on a lot of different levels and you make cash flow. So it's a
Yeah.
safe space. I
Yeah, I
love it.
love it because I think there's 9 or maybe 7 or 9
Like
different
9 levels, yeah.
9, and each one you learn such an important. I think the credit thing is such a huge thing for Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I sell real estate, so when I'm renting an apartment or a house, or it always comes down to the credit, right?
That's right.
So that's such a huge thing for people, and then yeah, you're right. It's a club where you can not only get the Bitcoin going and have a team of people that are supportive, but
Mm,
you can also learn other skill set and other necessary things to function in the world that are going to
sure.
help you later on. So that's why I love it, and I'm excited about it. um
Yeah.
yeah, so what's the next step for Asada? Are you writing another book, or are you just kind of like doing your thing and continuing
Yeah.
what works?
I find that Bitcoin is, I have made it time consuming.
Hmm.
Why? Because I help others all day long. And at the point where I can help an African country, I'm not like going through the commercial, help this these poor kids in this African thing. No,
Right.
I'm helping people become, self-sufficient.
Right.
And so I do Bitcoin all day long. People are still kind of like, what about the book fair? And I'm like, it's coming, but even the book fair, that costs $85,000 to do a year.
Hmm.
But now I can fund most of it myself. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I don't have to, I would spend so much time trying to fundraise and it was very agonizing. But now that I'm in the club, I can play a different role in terms of uh my overall mission of why I do anything that I do. And it's really to get people to survive better, you
Yeah.
know? And so this space helps me help others survive better. And so going forward are some of the projects that I mentioned. It's to definitely get my daughter set up well with Bitcoin and then keep this Bitcoin growing like a well-oiled machine so that paying tuition and all those other things are like, whatever, pay
Yeah.
tuition, and I don't have to worry about or feel stressed about anything. I was able to, pay the rent for the rest of the year. Boo, get
Yeah.
that out of the way, and things like that so that you don't have attention on struggling, but have attention on affluence. And so I'm just going to continue to grow that so my daughter can be the rightful heir to the throne that I plan her to be.
Hello, 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 love, hello. Sorry.
I love you
So
too much.
I love you too. So,
Yeah.
do you think this can actually end poverty?
I do one of the videos that I showed during my presentation. You kind of have these big wigs talking. Bill Gates is talking, and Branson is talking, and all these folks. But one of the guys,
That video, yeah,
yeah, and so one of the guys says, "I think that this Bitcoin is going to help end world poverty better than anything we've ever seen."
right.
And it's true because you could be a farmer in Botswana. As long as you got a device, you can take Bitcoin
Wow,
and you can exchange.
I almost took a job in Barcelona. I was gonna
Did you really?
tractor driver. Yeah, and I'm just kidding.
I'm
But
about to say you're such a liar.
wow, that's incredible. I mean, that is exciting, and
Mhm,
because it's the same. It's the same here as there. We have currency, right? And there's
mhm,
all this trading of currency, right? Like
mhm.
it goes up here, then this money goes up, then they trade it, and then somebody makes a little bit of money because that went up and this one went down, and that's like a whole other world of industry and stuff. This
Sure.
pulls that completely apart,
Mm,
just pulls it apart, and it's sort of like send money directly to that guy who has this school in that country
that's
in
right.
in
That's
Africa,
right.
and right there he can just handle it.
Yeah, and it's also I find that, and Richard Twaro's is a gentleman that you might want to look up at some point. I like to watch him, but in one of his lectures, he talked about trust and how the industry of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is impacting how we trust one another. Because there's a
Mhm.
trust involved, peer to peer. I'm
Right.
sending you money, you're sending me money. We have, I don't know why, become so trustful of these agencies and these organizations and these banks. We don't know them.
I know.
We don't know them.
I
I
know.
don't know what they're doing with that money,
I know.
but it's another thing where we start working together again, like you talked about earlier, bartering, but now with crypto, you're really dealing with the individual. You're getting to know them. It's creating a
Yeah.
different dynamic as it relates to finance. I think most people think of finance as stuffy but
Yeah.
nah, Bitcoin is making it
It's
a
making
sort of
like
a
a
phenomenon.
beautiful, soft thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
freedom. Like I said, freedom is involved, trust is involved. It's a beautiful thing to me.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to be alive at this time to help get it on its feet so that when our children do come up, our kids gonna be set up. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like, Bitcoin. My daddy got me on Bitcoin when I was 5.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, man, I can't believe my dad used to pay with this money with these guys on their face. It was on, and then
It
on
was
the back,
paper.
if you folded it like this, it turns into Elmer Fudd.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
So yeah, that'll be
that's how they're
funny,
gonna
right?
be. Yeah. So this
Mhm.
is exciting. Asada, thank you so much. We're almost approaching an hour.
Thank you, my
It's
darling.
always a pleasure. And I mean, obviously, I'd love for you to come back again, and and have another conversation, especially when things are getting interesting. We'll set something up. Um,
Sure.
and then, is there anything else that you want to? Where can people find you? Where can people not like to your house, but where can they reach you? And they'll be like,
Right. Hold on. There we are. But
"Damn it, Ron, give me my damn address." Sorry.
you guys, I love John so much. So you can find me all the time on Facebook. I'm just Asadah Kirkland, like you see my name written there. Um, the book, Bitcoin for Black People, you can get online at that address, bitcoinforblackpeople.com. Of course, it says Bitcoin for Black people, but you can read it if you're not Black. I
It's
promise.
funny. I've been using the line. I've been saying, okay, so Asada Kirkland is gonna be on the show. She wrote a book called Bitcoin for Black People. Don't worry, she's black.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Right. So, I mean, and the reason I had to do that, guys, anybody that knows Asada, most of what I do is to empower Black people, just because, I mean, we've been highly disenfranchised, period, in world history. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Mhm.
about, okay, let's repair that,
Yeah.
not by saying, hey, I don't like you, but by saying, here's some tools that we can
Right.
use to just build ourselves back where we want to build ourselves. So yep, Bitcoin for Black people has all of the different descriptions of Bitcoin. It also talks about some history. You might not know. You might not know that, Black people in Chicago during the Great Depression, so some of them were making like 18 million a year during that time.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's in the book too. So
Wow.
there was something called policy. So I just kind of talk about wealth as it relates to African people throughout the diaspora and how we're going to reclaim that in the present time through crypto. So,
Wow. I love it. I love it.
mhm.
Well, thank you so much, Asada. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you.
I will definitely talk to you very, very soon.
Sounds good. I loved it. Thank you guys.
Out of
Peace.
Kirkland, everyone. Thank you. Woo, 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 woo. Take care. Bye. All right. So awesome, so much energy, and I love our conversations because I could always be silly around because I've known her a long time, and she's just an awesome person, and I really appreciate her calling me originally, and telling me about this. And when she called, it's different than anybody else called, and I guess it's kind of bad. I want everybody to be able to call me, but when she called me in particular, it was like, oh yeah, I got to listen to this because I trust her, and I want to hear what it's about. And after she explained it to me, I said, yeah, let's. I'm in. I just want to start. And again, I am that personality that would just want to just jump in head first because I feel like it's the right thing to do. I go with my instincts a lot, and that's how I got out of the South Bronx, you know, without getting killed. That's how I found my religion. That's how I found my wife. That's how I found my all the stuff that I have. I did it through instincts because I just felt that that was the right thing, and it just made me feel good. So that's just me. If there's anything I can do to help anybody, you could always email me. My email is here. You can email me at johnhenrysoder@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. And that is all. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I will see you on Thursday. Thursday's show is going to be a little bit of a surprise. I will talk more about it in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And as always, peace.